Hi guys, welcome to Simply Scuba. Here we have the Mars Flexa DS Boot. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so time for a quick review. Let's get 60 seconds on the clock, and we're going to be looking at the Mars Flexa DS Boot. So the Flexa DS is basically a hard-soled 5mm boot. So this is really for divers who need a pair of neoprene boots with a kind of stronger, tougher sole. You can get them with sort of soft and squidgy soles, but if you're going over kind of rough terrain to get to the dive site, they can be quite uncomfortable, whereas this has more of a kind of trainer sort of sole to it. So it's really nice and strong. It's going to protect the bottom of your feet, and if you suffer from cramp as well, it's going to add that sort of extra little bit of rigidity, so your foot isn't kind of flexing quite as much. So you're going to transfer that energy to the fin without sort of getting too much cramp. Other than that, it's a 5mm boot, so it's going to keep your feet really nice and warm. You've got zippered entry, so it's really easy to get in and out of it. Let's take a much closer look at a more in-depth review. Okay, so taking a much closer view at the Flexa DS. So 5mm of neoprene, and the neoprene itself is quite stretchy, so that means that you get lots of sort of motion in your ankle. You've got zippered opening. So this is a plastic PK zipper, which does move sort of even if the tab is down. A lot of zippers, oh no, it doesn't go down. Sorry, correction. It doesn't move. It will go up, but it won't go down if that tab is down. So a lot of sort of boots suffer from this whilst you're diving. You kind of start with it zipped up, but by the end of the dive it's unzipped. But this one, if you only push on that whilst the tab is down, it doesn't undo, so that means that it's not going to undo during the dive. When you lift that tab up, it sort of activates the mechanism so that you can unzip it. Underneath that zipper, we've got a little gusset, again, just to prevent the water from sort of flushing in, so your feet stay nice and warm. The stitching itself, so this is blind lock stitching, the stitching doesn't go all the way through the neoprene. It's actually double blind lock because you've got the same on the inside, so this is relatively soft against your skin. There's no real kind of sharp, sort of scratchy areas, so this shouldn't rub against your foot anywhere, so they should sort of be really nice and comfortable. All the way down the front, we've got this sort of protective rubbery material, and this has a little bit of grip as well, because this is going to be touching the inside of your foot pocket on your fin, and this is going to protect the boots from that abrasion when you put your sort of fins on, take them off, and any sort of small motions. So that's protecting the front of your boot, and it's also adding a little bit of grip to your fins so they don't feel like they're sliding around. The sole itself, so this is quite strong compared to that kind of soft-soled boot, and there is a bit of flex. It does sort of move and twist, but yeah, it's much tougher than just a classic scuba diving boot. And you've got some decent tread on this, so if you're going to some really obscure dive site out in the middle of nowhere, and you need to sort of wear these out to them, you're not going to be slipping all over the place. You've got a decent tread, but there is a certain amount of kind of rigidity to it, so yeah, it's going to protect your feet from that kind of flex that can give some divers cramp. The heel section is really tough, just around here, and we've got this notch here, which is basically to hold onto your fin strap. So you put your fin strap over that, and that stops your fin strap from just sort of sliding down and coming off, so your fin then comes off. That holds it in position so it doesn't slide down. You notice here it's got a little number 8 on it. That is the US shoe size. So if you're in England and you're ordering like a UK 7, chances are it's going to have an 8 on the bottom, so don't worry about that. That's the US shoe size. So yeah, all in all, a pretty tough boot, but let's take a look and see who it's really made for. So yeah, the Flexa DS is a 5mm boot, so this can go down to pretty cold temperatures, and it's really designed for scuba divers who need to go to really sort of remote areas whilst wearing them. They want a kind of a tougher sole, or people that just prefer their dive boots to feel a bit more like trainers compared to the kind of almost sock-like classic design with that really soft sole. And yeah, so for anybody really, depending on where you're diving, depending on your sort of preferences on boot. This is just a hard-soled sort of diving boot that can go to colder temperatures, but obviously you can still wear them in warmer climates too. And that's the Marius Flexa DS Boot. A decent boot. You've got a really sort of strong sole on that, and yeah, 5mm thick means it's pretty perfect for any diver really. If you make scuba diving equipment and you want to see us make this type of review on your stuff, then you can always send us a sample to the address listed down in the description below. And if you don't make dive equipment but you're looking to get something but you're not really sure whether or not it's for you, whether you should buy it or not, and you want to see this type of video for it, just ask the manufacturer, see if they can send a sample over to the boys and girls at Simply Scuba, and yeah, if they send us something, we'll make this type of review. Thanks for watching, and safe diving. We are an online dive store serving the UK and the world for all your diving equipment needs. So why not visit us at simplyscuba.com or click the box on your screen.